Okay, today, I'm filming this on the first day of December. Can you believe it? It's almost Christmas. I can smell it. Can you? Man, days are flying so quickly. Anyway, so for the past 2 weeks, what have I been doing? I'll give you a hint. Nothing. Wait. That wasn't a hint, that was actually what I did. Nothing. Well, aside from the fact that I was working on that little idea that I told you about, which was this thing. So I did not want this to happen, such that if this happens, they will, you know what, I'll just show it. Okay, just pretend this thing is a random object, alright? So if we form that V shape, this string is gonna collide with that object. However, if we have this ring here, that object, you know, nothing is gonna get in the way of the object. So that's what we wanted to figure out, how the hell, we can actually do that. Now, I actually figured a solution. It took me bloody 3 days, and it's so simple, to be honest. The solution is so simple that, you know, you'll smack yourself in the face because how simple it is. Anyway, so I guess I'll need to get a little creative. I'll go outside, make a demo of it, and I'll show you it then. Okay, now we are outside. I guess we'll make our best to be around here. I mean, we'll set up the experiment around here. Alright, I think it's something like this. Damn it, not working. Nothing. Okay, let me just put it down here so I can use all my powers. Yes! Okay, there. Now, this is just an old table that I got from somewhere. And, well, I guess I need to finish setting up. Okay, I'll just be a sec. Hopefully. One moment. So yeah, this is basically how the wire is set around. So, first, it has like, I just made, you know, I tied a knot on this. And then here, we just made a loop on, if you can see it, we just made a simple little loop. So one of them controls that, and this one, you know, that one loops around, if you can see it. Anyway, all I have to do is then, you know, put it here, and that's it. That's it. Now, for the motors, they will be like located in this space. All they will do is wind this string in, and they'll cause this thing to start moving that side. Okay, there we go. That was, well, a difficult experiment, even though it did not seem like it. Did I mention that I bought a 3D printer? Yeah, I bought a 3D printer. I mean, I have to print some of the parts somehow. For example, the container, the thing that will be containing the motors, I will need to print that. I mean, how else am I gonna get such a thing? So yeah, I bought a 3D printer. It's called Creality 3 Pro. If we go to eBay, and yeah, that's it. I guess if I'm gonna be doing this kind of spending, I need to make an account for this thing, for this channel, so I can, you know, keep track of what's what. What's left at this point is that I will need to start playing around with these things today to try to control the motors. I only have 3 days before this video airs, so by then I hope I will have something to show. So yeah, I'll be playing around with this, and then I'll play around with the motors that I got, even though I haven't ordered any new ones. The old ones, which were this, they move around slow, like very slow. It goes by 36 RPM, and that is really slow for what I want. So I will need to order something that is much faster, maybe 1000 RPM with similar or more torque to it. So yeah, but for now we'll go with what we have. This camera is about to die, so I'll charge its battery, but in the meanwhile, let's get this done. At this point, I guess what I will do is I need to do a simulation. I need to start making a simulation, and on December the 31st I want this thing to be whizzing around this room. So yeah, that's my deadline. So I can't procrastinate anymore. I can't afford to do that. If I do, I won't really get to this deadline, and I don't want that. So yeah, no more excuses for me. I need to get it done. This model that you see here is an attempt of drawing this room and the kitchen area. Basically, it will be a place where this robot is gonna be moving, but obviously to begin with, we have modeled our room. It's not done, definitely not even close to what I was dreaming it to be. So I guess we'll have to go with what we have. So at this point, I have attempted to make the model itself and how this thing is gonna be structured. So I'm gonna 3D print this device that you see over here. I'm actually going to make this thing stay there and of course be able to hold the weight that this string is actually going to be having. This ring will definitely be made out of metal, and yeah, so these ropes are gonna just make the loop, and then it will be attached to this bottom structure down here, which will be where the spider cam will be. I made this thing where so I can just slide my camera in and everything will be just like that. But the main component is that I make this thing. Inside here we have motors, so we will have 4 motors. Like I said, this thing is definitely not done. This is how they're gonna be sitting. This whole box here, I'm gonna 3D print it with my new Ender 3 3D printer. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, hopefully anyway. And I also need to model this box in Fusion 360. So this is Fusion 360. I need to try to model this box in Fusion 360, and this is how I am going to actually 3D print this little box. And of course I need to try to put in more holes into this box so we can keep the ventilation going, because I am pretty sure it's going to get hot, especially with the with these motors here and the Raspberry Pi in the center. It's going to get hot. Now there is one thing that I really haven't mentioned, which is how this thing is gonna be powered. Obviously I'm not gonna put a battery in here because these motors will need a lot more power. So over to one of these corners we will have a power source, or a wire going from one of this corner through the ring and of course through the box, powering this every unit in here. So that's basically how I'm gonna be powering this thing here. In speaking of how I'm actually going to print this box, Creality Ender 3 Pro. Yep, it arrived the other day. I haven't really opened it, but yeah, I'll be keen to open it once I get the time to do that. But on the other hand, it left me super broke. So I'll have to buy the filament so I can actually start 3D printing around next week. For now, what I will do is just learn about it and know how to operate it. And yeah, that's about that. I dream of one day to just be sitting here and say, I want tea. And before you know it, I have like a robot coming here and giving me an already made tea. That's what I dream of. And I'm willing to put my money, time, and effort, and basically everything I've got to try to achieve this particular dream of mine. My question from me to you is, what are you willing to do for your dream? Are you willing to give it your all? Are you that serious about it? Do you think you can give it your all? Leave your thoughts on it. And on that note, let's make this happen.